Welcome one, welcome all, once again to Pit Road Productions. It's Saturday, it's Almeida Day, and what a round this is going to be of the Almeida Racing League Season 8. We're at the 6th round of the championship at Virginia International Raceway, but not the full layout, as you might expect. We are running the North Course at VIR here today, taking a snaking detour through the infield to come out at the roller coaster. It's going to be a super fun night of racing, at least for me, night in the F1600s. My name is Reese Gardner. Daniel Zippy Salmon is alongside me in the comms box and also producing behind the scenes on the Pit Road Productions YouTube channel and the Almeida Racing Academy YouTube channel as well. Zippy, we love VIR, we love F1600. I think, and this may be a controversial opinion, I think we're going to get some good racing tonight.
I don't think that's controversial or Reese. I think you are absolutely right on the money there. The Almeida Racing Academy, we see the top split of the students, indeed a bigger split this season, ladies and gentlemen. We've had, what was it, 40 cars, 48 cars in here or something like that. Absolutely insane field, and not only that, some great competition as well. We got I ratings spreading across the board, and it goes to show that it's just more than that. The Almeida Academy teaching very, very well. We've seen improvements last season, like Carl Diaz Castro as well. I watched his I rating go from sub 2,000 to now 4,000 plus. The guy can drive, and indeed he's absent again this week. So nope, he's here. Kyle, welcome back. Good to have you. But certainly looking forward to the action. But before we get too excited, indeed, let's see where we've been and where we're going.
Indeed. We started off the season at the end of June at Mosport, Oschersleben playing host to round 2. That was a fantastic round. Lime Rock Park and Lebanon, the 3rd and 4th rounds of the championship to round out July. Then last week we went to Tsukuba. That was a super fun night indeed. Very short track that's suitable for these cars. We're here at VIR this week. Okayama and Montreal play host to the next 2 rounds of the championship. And then we round things off with Navarra, Rudskogen, and the second endurance round of the season at Brands Hatch, the first of which was round 4 at Lebanon. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the standings are looking now that we are into the meat of the season, but we'll go through our race format first. Drivers have already run their 60 minutes of open practice. It's now the middle of 15 minutes of open qualifying. We've got 2 15-minute races to start off the proceedings for today with, I believe, an inverted top 8 for race 2. And the feature race will be 20 minutes in length with the grid set by the results of the second race. No fast repair, fixed setup. And, the fixed setup, Zippy, really brings the talent to the top, doesn't it? And we've seen some great runs of talent in this field in the standings.
We absolutely have, and certainly I'm going to pick up what you're putting down there, Reese. Looking at the Academy overall points so far, Ian Joyner, a former champion, is yet again at the top of the food chain. He is indeed the man to beat. Kevin Lau, though, he's giving him a run for his money in second. Got a bit of a lead there over Jeffrey Atkins, who's currently in third. Looking over, though, to the Split 1 Premier. Reese, if you'd like to do the honours.
Yes, well, Ian Joyner and Kevin Lau are still the top 2 when we just isolate the Split 1 drivers. Timothy Ng in 3rd spot ahead of Jeremy Childers and Dominicus Consavicius rounding out the top 5. Philip Falcon there in 6th place should be the leader of the club class, with Bas van der Leyen, Anthony Uri, Jakob Chipley and Rich Meesters rounding out the overall top 10. And indeed, Philip Falcon is still on top, but he didn't quite get the result he wanted last week. It was a bit of a tough one, stuck down in the field. So now there's only a 30-point gap to Anthony Ori, with Rich Meesters, Michael Cords, and Ilari Arnio rounding out the top 5, and only 1 point separating Ilari Arnio from Norman Rinn. It's certainly a hotly contested championship in the club class, which has traditionally provided us with some of the best championship action out there. But we're here in qualifying now and keeping an eye on Ian Joyner, our championship leader, as he is dragging Bas van der Leyen along. They are currently 1 and 2 in qualifying, and their times are only separated by 0.03 of a second.
Yeah, certainly Bas van der Leyen, he's definitely had a little bit of a roller coaster so far this season. We know he's got absolutely incredible pace, and indeed he's an important part of the community as well. Very supportive when it comes to helping us do our streams as well. If there's ever any other curveballs, he is keen to let us know. But right now, I've got to say, he is playing the man. He's using Ian Joyner as a golden parachute to try and find his way to the top of the standings.
taking a tour through this infield section. Whoop, yeah, that's a bit wide there for Joyner, but you can use that little strip of concrete there. It just might not be the best line. This is just such a rolling and beautiful section of racetrack. You're going up and down over the hills before you rejoin the main circuit here at Roller Coaster. Traditionally, a very long straight leading up to that. There won't be much opportunity for drafting over the back end of the circuit with this particular layout, but through Hogpen and out onto the start-finish straight, this is where the slipstream will really kick in. We're going to see the next couple of times now come in from Ian Joyner and Bas van der Leyen. Bas is looking for some improvement because Timothy Eng has just pipped him for second spot. Bas will take overall provisional pole there, 1 minute 29.349. Ian Joyner, again, only 300ths behind him. That's honestly an impressive time from Joyner considering he didn't have any slipstream.
Yeah, certainly Ian Joyner, this is a gentleman who honestly can do it a solo on a couple of occasions there. But right now we're going to go on board for a guided lap here with Bas van der Leyen as he makes his way to a prime passage opportunity, the left-hander of NASCAR Band.
Indeed, through left hook and right hook, then through the lower S's, as I like to call them, just flat out through here, even in the S1600 with its grooved tyres and zero downforce. But then you're trying to line yourself up for this braking zone, which isn't exactly where you'd expect it to be, and there's no brake markers to help you with reference points. Ian Joyner, he really loves using all of the track on the exit of that right-hander, doesn't he, through turns 8, 9, and looking at the track map, it's 8A, 8B, 9A, 9B, and this is turn 9C right here, apparently. I can never get my head around how American circuits name their corners. So anyway, back onto the main circuit, flat out again on the run into Hogpen, but just lifting off ever so slightly, making sure that you can turn the car in and get that rotation. It's very important because you've got that long start-finish straight up ahead of you. That can make all the difference between a great lap and a not-so-great one. Ian Joyner with 2 purple sectors on this lap. He might be able to take provisional pole back here, and he will, at 1 minute 29.2.
Absolutely astonishing drive there from the driver of the number 8. But looking down through the field, it is incredibly close throughout the field as well. Like, I'm going to put it up on... You take a look at the timing screen, Reese. Like, wow.
Yeah, it's super close. And how about that performance from Jeremy Childers there? We usually see him around about the back end of the top 10 at most, but here at VIR, he's managed to get himself into the top 3. Jonathan Hobson, the Norwegian driver who we saw in the first couple rounds of the season, spent a few rounds out of the running. He's back, and he is just knocking on the door of the top 10. Further improvements coming in from Luis Rivellino up to 7th, Andres Svoboda rounding out the top 20, but then Matthew Johnson pipping everyone to 17th spot, and Tyler Harker getting into 9th spot. The times are coming in thick and fast, but I gotta say, it's really good to see that bright Technicolor paint scheme of Jonathan Hobson back out on track. I've missed him.
Yeah, certainly good to have him back as well. I think he was away for work, if I remember rightly, as well. But certainly Tyler Harker, we've definitely seen him before in the Spec Racer Fords, was without a doubt a championship contender in the club class, and it's good to see him making a return. Not only that, he's managed to give himself a little bit of a leg up there. Kevin Adrian had the club class podium pretty much slam dunked until that last lap. Harker able to take down Monas and to move himself up into P9 overall. Kevin Adrian back there on the 7th row in P14.
Bas van der Leyen taking advantage of the slipstream off Ian Joyner, and he's managed to retake provisional pole. So the times are coming back down further and further. Rupesh Paneni with an improvement there into P3. We always expect Rupesh to be at or near the top, and he is proving that again. Dominicus Consavicius with an excellent turn of form. He's improved up to 10th spot, and Rich Meesters making an improvement up to P12. There goes Jakob Chepley up to P6. These timing screens are moving around a ton right now. Rich Meesters, one of the drivers who's joining us on the camera feeds here today, racing in VR. Those are not gigantic sunglasses. That is indeed a VR headset. And Rich Meesters certainly used that to great effect in this season. He hasn't had the best of luck 100% of the time, but he's always there or thereabouts, isn't he?
Well, if it's not a VR headset, he may indeed be blind using the Force, in which case, power to him if he can drive that quick and be a blind man. But certainly good to see him back, and indeed matching his livery there to his shirt as well. Charles Krasick, though, just had purple in the sector as well. He's currently there in P4. Do have to wonder if he can find an improvement as well. Currently in P15 overall.
Yes, it looks like after a few rounds of the club class doing particularly well, the drivers in the Premier class have hit back. They are they're covering the entirety of the top 12 bar one, which is Tyler Harker in P6. And don't forget, in this league, the two subclasses are scored based on overall results. So if Harker can hold on to that in the race, he's going to have a big point of advantage over the rest of his class. Before we get things rolling here for the end of qualifying, a shout out to the Almeida Racing Academy and livery. They have merch and it is good. We're now out of the pre-order phase, so you can still find the Almeida Vintage brand tee on pre-order, but the Almeida Emblem tee is now available to add to your cart. A very nice piece of clothing indeed. You can grab caps as well, and there's the 3/4 zip. I am wearing a full zip cardigan right now. I would much rather be in that nice snug looking quarter zip that you see on screen there.
Indeed, absolutely fantastic stuff. Please ignore the website, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it is available to order now, so certainly would love to get you guys on board as well. We're taking a look as well. If you're wondering, how do I get involved in running this league? Well, you need to be part of the Almeida Academy, and by all means, they have a free package available. Why not give it a go and then go and expand as well? But they've got all sorts of courses from both sim racing and real racing as well. You see their car handling, racecraft, the MX5 mini course, and it goes on, ladies and gentlemen. And as well, watch Swallow roast your laps. Why not? Indeed, good fun there we've had. When he does show up on time, sorry Swallow, we're still going to roast you for that.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to seeing what all of these students of the Almeida Racing Academy can bring to the fore here at VIR. Every one of the drivers you're seeing on screen is a student of the Academy, and the Gold membership will grant you entry to the league for next season. So if you're interested in giving it a try, make sure to get yourself up there. Some big improvements starting to happen here. We've just had about 3 or 4 different drivers taking 8th and 9th spot. They are on.
Not only that, Kevin Adrian just managed to get an absolute slam dunk overlapping our resident Canadian, well, our resident shirtless Canadian, ladies and gentlemen, in the 110, has managed to put it up into P6 overall. It was P5 when I started the sentence, but Timothy Ing has gone P3 overall. But right now, Tyler Harker, he was P1 in the club class. He's been pushed back to P3. Ilari Arnio taking P2 as somebody's just got something horribly wrong there. I can hear carnage. I can see smoke. What's going on here in qualifying? That is a little bit of a disturbance in the force, as indeed you see one of the cars having to slide off. That looked like Dominicus Conspicius and indeed Rich Mises there having a little bit of fun here in qualifying.
Yeah, not ideal, but fortunately it's nearly the end of the session, so not much time left for anyone else to take advantage. But I gotta say, the amount of competition in this qualifying session is ridiculous. I don't think I've seen the timing screen shuffle about as much in a single qualifying session in this league as I have just now. It's really impressive. We'll keep our eyes peeled for any further improvements from drivers. Kevin Lau is about to finish a lap. He went purple in Sector 3, so this may or may not be a good lap here from Kevin. He's targeting better than a 129.5, and that's not going to happen for him, unfortunately. That purple Sector 3 is the only best sector he has at the moment. Hobson up to P18. That's a good improvement for him. For the most part, though, it looks like we are very close to seeing this qualifying session end. It's a multi-race server, and so there is a hard cut to the end of qualifying. If you didn't start your lap about a minute ago, you are not going to make it to the line.
Well, I have a feeling at this point Ian Joyner is just trying to break there into the 128s purely for bragging rights. He's right on the cusp of greatness. Well, indeed, he is at the top of greatness here. Right now, he's P1 in an absolutely incredible strength of field. An I rating, 6,211. But certainly, there is one person who I can think of who would give him a run for his money come race time. We're not going to see him in race 1, but keep your eyes out for race number 2.
Absolutely. This will be a really fun one indeed. And yeah, the hint that you just dropped there, Connor Bell is in the session. We spent a few weeks coachless on the grid today, so it'll be good to see Connor out there cutting some laps. Regardless, this is how qualifying finished up. Ian Joyner and Bas van der Leij are your front row, with Timothy Ng and Kyle Diaz-Castro row number 2. Rupesh Pineni starts 5th alongside Kevin Adrian, who takes the club class pole. He's ahead of Jeremy Childers and Kevin Lau, with Todd Bonesteel, the last Pro Class car in the top 10, Premier Class, sorry, and Laureano rounding out that top 10.
Tyler Harker makes a joyous return and goes P11 and indeed P number 3 in the club class. He's there alongside Jacob Sukli in 12th. Philip Falcon, your club class leader, he's there in 13th with Louis Rivellino in 14th. Dominicus Conservicius, he's there in 15th with Charles Krasick alongside in 16th. The Cool Camel Racing car of Rich Meese is there in 17th with Alfredo Cruciani in 18th. Jonathan Hobson in 19th and indeed Matthew Johnson making a return in P number 20.
0.06 of a second behind, Manuel Hoffer with Andre Svoboda alongside him outside the top 20. Kimel Kasim starts in 23rd spot. He's got Michael Cords alongside him. Anthony Ori, who's fifth. I can't quite remember where he was in the club class. I think he's P2 in the club class in the championship. 25th alongside Marcus Vorpal. Norman Rin, Lance Tamashiro, and new driver Ariane Maya going to round out the drivers that set times in the session. Connor Bell, of course, not taken to the grid in race 1, but Joe Haas didn't set a qualifying time. He is going to be starting at the very back of this grid.
Well, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic battle, as indeed we are going to be getting ready to go green here for the first time at VIR.
Standing start. These cars are pretty easy to get off the line, but you've got to be careful of the wheel spin. No smoke thrown up at all from Ian Joyner. It's a pretty much perfect launch there, but one driver has not gotten going, and it's Rupesh Pineni. He is sliding down the order. Tyler Harker's picked up a black flag for jumping the start, so there's drama already in various spots throughout this field. Timothy Ng passing Bas van der Leij for second spot as Joyner's trying his best to skip away here on lap 1. It's side by side behind almost all the way through the field. Jeremy Childers putting Kevin Lau behind him to maintain P6, and it's working out nicely for him. Kevin Adrian has managed to gain 1 spot, currently rounding out the top 5 as they're really in the twisty part of the lap now.
Yeah, certainly this is where the driver is going to want to get into single file as quickly as possible. Tyler Harker is definitely going to be a little bit disappointed there with that black flag. A little bit too happy there on the trigger, but further through the field, though, you can see different people making moves. Rupesh Pineni is indeed rolling, but we've got to say, we'll have a look at that start a little bit later on. Absolutely catastrophic way to start the day.
Yes, it looks like Dominicus Conservicius completely missed the braking point into turn 1 and caused a bit of drama involving Charles Krasic and company. We're right on board with Joe Haas, who has made up a couple of spots already. He's up to 28th place as things stand, but he may have to do a little bit more work to make up positions. Not just that, but he's got a mechanical black flag for his troubles as well, so some heavy damage suffered for him. Lap 1 is complete though, and Ian Joyner is rapidly trying to get away from Timothy Ng, who's more than keen to use a bit of the grass on his way out of the final corner.
Indeed, this is where you got to wonder, who do you really want to race against? Because right now you can see here, Kyle Diaz-Castro looking to apply a bit of pressure, going to try and make the move down the outside there. He's got Bas van der Leij on his inside. Indeed, Bas is still there. There is no more real estate left. You go up there, Bas van der Leij just getting ahead as they make their way out of the first turn. Indeed, Kyle Diaz-Castro, though, looking to fight back. The Puerto Rican driver is looking to try and find his way forward, and he's done it. Moves up a place and onto the podium.
Lovely move there from Kyle. He's certainly gotten some great pace on in these cars over the various rounds we've had. Now he'll give chase to Timothy Ng, but slipstream is the most important thing in these cars. Any little bit of extra draft that you can snap up will benefit you. So I think Ng's main priority is to just stay in touch with Ian Joyner right now. Joyner recently getting his qualifying form up as well. Remember, there were a few rounds at the start of the season where Joyner just wasn't able to get the lap in qualifying, and he was sort of mired back in the lower reaches of the top 5, at least, in the first race, coming back to win races 2 and 3 on a couple of occasions. But this time, he has nailed qualifying, and he's holding on to a very comfortable lead right now. Keeping an eye on Kevin Adrian, still rounding out your top 5, and he's got 3 Premier Class cars in between himself and his next rival.
Yeah, Ilariano currently back there in P number 9. Good to see one of our resident Finns making a return here. You see just ahead of him now, Kevin Lau and Todd Bonesteel going side by side as they make their way down towards turn 1. Is this going to be an opportunity here for Ilariano? Is there going to be a little bit of buy one, get free? A little bit of a wiggle there from Bonesteel, and Ilariano closes right up to the tail shaft of that Formula 1600.
Lovely livery that Arnio is running. I do like me a nice, simple white and green paint scheme. And he is looking fast as ever in it, piling the pressure now on Todd Bonesteel, who probably has the coolest name in the whole grid, finding himself in 8th spot. Yes, he's just given up a place, but still rounding out that top 8. That is pole for race 2 that you're looking at right there.
Yeah, this could definitely be a little bit of strategy, but I don't really think you can sandbag to the point of just trying to hold on to a position there. You can see there, Ilariano now getting a little bit of pressure from behind from Jacob Seifling. Now, we've seen this Polish driver be incredibly potent, but is it going to be enough? Can he find his way forward? Meanwhile, though, the hard charger in the field, if I'm not mistaken, it's Michael Kords, who's up 7 positions.
Yep, doing nicely in race 1. We did catch a glimpse of a side-by-side fight between Kevin Adrian and Jeremy Childers. They have sorted themselves out single file now, but it has resulted in a bit of a gulf from the top 4 back to these drivers. And it just looks like Kevin was suffering a bit of understeer coming into the infield section. So there's going to be some trouble for him at the braking zone for turn 1. Speaking of, look up ahead. There's Bas van der Leij and Kyle Diaz-Castro going side by side for 3rd. Doesn't work out for Bas van der Leij, and Kevin Adrian will keep Jeremy Childers behind. But here comes Kevin Lau.
Yeah, certainly Kevin Lau's going to be keen to try and get into the mix as well. We've seen him, he had absolutely astonishing form at the start of the season, but is he going to be able to replicate that here at VAR? They made their way around NASCAR Bend, and indeed Kevin Adrian on the defensive line. But before we get too excited, I want to have a quick look at the replay and find out exactly what happened to Rupesh Maneni at the start of this race.
Yes, indeed. He went absolutely nowhere on the start. You see that? He was having big trouble just even getting it off the line, and I'm not entirely certain if he was stuck in neutral or if the car just didn't go, or if he had throttle issues or something like that. We'll need to. Yeah, it just looks like he was in neutral. He didn't get the car into gear in time, which is far from ideal for him.
Yeah, definitely a little bit unfortunate indeed, but right now we do return to live pictures here. Kevin Adrian looking to put on the defensive battle of a lifetime. He's lost touch with the likes of Bas van der Leij ahead, who's currently having a little bit of a spar with Kyle Diaz-Castro. About a second up the road, though, you got the likes of Timothy Ying and Ian Joyner, who has not been able to shake the draft, so this could end up being a 4-way fight there for the lead. The next pack, though, being led by Kevin Adrian, and fair play to him, he's going to have to work hard, but the biggest thing for him is Ilariano, currently back there in P10.
And I think that there's going to be major pressure for Kevin Adrian as Diaz-Castro and van der Leij continue their fight. The side-by-side still ongoing between Kevin's Adrian and Lau, and this time Lau has the inside line for NASCAR Bend, and I think Jeremy Childers is going to have a go at following him through here, but Kevin Adrian flings it into the corner, uses all of that extra asphalt on the exit beyond the curb, and keeps them at bay for now. But man, you see how much the defense from Kevin Adrian slows up everyone behind him. It looks like he's the proverbial cork in the bottle.
Yeah, fair play to him. He's definitely a good driver, and he's still going at it here with the likes of Jeremy Childers. Childers is going to have to go down the outside. Adrian on the inside. Now, the biggest thing these guys want to do is keep a nice, clean race. And I do, as much as I love Kevin Adrian, as there's been an incident in the back. Who was that now?
Manuel Hoffer, who had found his way inside the top 20, but now sits outside it once again. And that car does not look healthy. Someone else has spun. That's Norman Renner, who's found the wall there. What happened to Manuel? Just looks like the car got away from him on the elevation and surface change into that infield section.
Yeah, definitely see a little bit of a wiggle there. Let's stay with it. Indeed, there you go. That might be Norman there having a little bit of over-rotation as they get back going again. Thankfully, no damage for either car.
Yeah, they managed to keep it out of the wall so they can keep going. Battle on again between Bas van der Leij and Kyle Diaz-Castro. Van der Leij on the right side of screen, and, well, on the bottom right, you see just how hard he's focusing on trying to find his way past Kyle here. 1 minute 29.3 is the fastest lap that Bas van der Leij has set. Kyle Diaz-Castro has not run lower than a 129.6, and Van der Leij's pace is almost level with that of the leaders, so he is wanting to get by Kyle in short fashion, because when they cross the line next, they'll only have 4 laps to go. That's not much time to chase down Ian and Timothy.
Well, indeed, and that is exactly what Timothy Ing has been doing. He's managed to close the gap down. It was about 0.8 of a second. He's managed to not just shave that by half a second, by about 0.6 of a second now. Ian Joyner is going to be under some pressure here. As you see there, running really deep into the corner was Diaz-Castro, but right now, you've got to wonder when's going to be the strategic time to make a pass. Further back, though, Kevin Lau starting to break away from the rest of the pack. He's currently flying solo in P number 5, but Kevin Adrian, though, still able to hold on to the club class podium.
Yeah, Jeremy Childers, Todd Bonesteel, and Jakob Chepley, the drivers behind Kevin Adrian as it stands. Ilarianio has dropped outside of the top 10 in the meantime, so that does give a little bit of extra breathing room to Kevin Adrian in a points sense, but still 6 minutes remaining on the timer. There's still plenty of time for something to go wrong. You have to be on your A game at every point in this series. Jonathan Hobson up to P12 after starting 19th. It's been an impressive run up through the field for this returning driver, and he may or may not have a chance to move past even further, past Ilarianio. He almost cleans him up there, and who's that turned around? That's Jakob Chepley. Oh dear, and Alfredo Cruciani also with trouble at turn 1 in the same spot.
Yeah, let's take a look here at the replay. You see Jakob Chepley there trying to make the pass. Is he going to the inside, outside? Inside it is. Goes up, gets a little bit checked up on the brake and a little bit over rotation there. And fair play to him. It looks like he just about managed to get away there. Fair play to the students. I just say that one of them looked like simply started rolling. 2 of them now. Definitely might be something that the coaches decide is a teachable moment. Certainly I would expect a little better there from the driver of that particular vehicle.
Yeah, it looks like that was Cruciani getting into Jakob Chepley there. It was a tough situation for him to be in, spun on the apex of turn 1. I mean, all you can really do is just hope that everyone can avoid you. Fortunately, there's pretty good sight lines around a lot of the corners around here. You see it from this aerial view. It's just swaths of grass all around this place. It didn't used to always be the case, though. VIR, one of the first purpose-built sports car circuits to be built in the United States in the 1950s, and it was in disrepair from the 1970s up until when it was reopened in 2000. There goes Bas van der Leij past Kyle Diaz-Castro, and, well, now we'll see the fight back again from Kyle. He is really comfortable, deep under brakes into turn 1. Those swaths of grass you see all around this place, well, there used to be trees growing right up near the edge of the circuit when it was in disrepair. It really is an incredible story how this track was resurrected some 26 years ago.
Yeah, actually, it's one of the tracks that's on my bucket list of places to go there, Reese, because indeed, you've got the chalets. You actually see them up here on the left. I believe they are. I don't know if the track, this particular scanner has them, but certainly just as we go down this section here, they would be up here over. There you go. There's one of them, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it over in the side. Indeed, it's a couple more there. You can rent the chalets, and I would absolutely love to do that. I have got no concept how to go on holiday, but we're going to put that thought on hold for a second as we have a new race leader making his way to the front of the pack. It's Timothy Ing.
Yep, Timothy's found his way past Ian Joyner, and it looks like he made the pass into NASCAR Bend. It was a great run around the outside of turn 1 that helped to start off this maneuver, and Ian Joyner was doing his very best to keep him at bay. But look at that, just more momentum around the outside, straighter on the power. He was able to keep the side-by-side going and ultimately complete the move into the left-hander.
Yeah, beautiful pass. Certainly some good racing going on, but you got to wonder, is that the time that he should have made the pass? Is it Ian Joyner looking to fight back there as he made the way across the start-finish? Going to have about another 2 or 3 laps left to go.
Yes, indeed. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Timothy's getting so close. Yep, bit too close for my heart rate, but And I think Timothy's just going to bide his time now behind Ian Joyner and go for a move a little bit later. The battle's still going on between Kyle and Bass for third. Kevin Adrian has actually caught back up to Kevin Lau. You see that? What's going on with Mr. Lau?
Yeah, I've got to wonder. He was like pulling away by at least a second, but certainly I do have to wonder if the slipstream has been enough. And certainly Kevin Adrian, a little bit of Kevin on Kevin action. These two guys could work together. It's exactly going to play into the hands of the Canadian driver of the 110 machine for Adrian Autosports. But right now, his main priority has got to be staying ahead of the Finnish driver, the 166 of Ilariano.
Yes, well, Ilari is still back in 10th spot, and it looks like he is a fair way behind. There's about 5 or 6 seconds that he'll have to make up and make his way past Luis Rivellino, who's having a great run of things at the moment. Jonathan Hobson has caught up to them as well. A 3-way fight for 9th spot overall. There's plenty of racing still to come here. Our leaders are about to come across the line, and I think this is going to be the final lap beginning right now. Yep. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. Barney's waving the white flag. I just see it, I think. So now the battle is on between Timothy Ng and Ian Joyner. Round the outside again for Timothy, but a bit too much oversteer this time. Ian Joyner leads out of turn 1.
Indeed, he's certainly looking at Pit Road Productions logo very nicely on the front nose cone of that Formula 1600 car. Certainly as well, if you're wondering about the Formula 1600s, we're going to see even more of that. But we're going to tell you a bit more about that a little bit later on. Right now, though, Ian Joyner still trying to hold on for the win. Timothy Ng has put up an absolutely monumental challenge as he runs a little bit wide there, in my opinion, trying to chase down the likes of Ian Joyner. But realistically, he's running out of time. If he wants to get himself to the front of the pack, he's going to have to do it, and do it now.
So into the infield section, bit earlier turn in for Timothy Ng, gives him a more stable platform on the way through the corner. Ian Joyner dealing with a tiny bit of oversteer, but he's keeping the pace up here through this section. Now we re-emerge back onto the main circuit, into the roller coaster, heavy braking, and try to keep your momentum up through this right-hander. Big acceleration from Ian Joyner. He gains a little bit more of a gap on Timothy Ng, but when the slipstream kicks in out of Hogpen, that is when he's going to have to start watching out. It looks like Timothy, a little bit of a tighter line through the second part of Hogpen. Does he have enough track left to try and go for the lead from here? I don't think so. The start-finish line will come up just too soon. Pulls out of the slipstream, but yeah, behind is super close between Bas van der Lee and Carl Diaz-Castro, and Bas gets onto the podium.
Oh my gosh, I was watching that. I seen Bass put up a fist in celebration. Indeed, he's absolutely over the moon. Looks like Ilariano as well, getting a little bit of a position. Oh my word, an absolute onslaught of cars there coming across the line in the closing stages. I'd like to say we could see more of the battles, but wowzers.
Yeah.
To the line as well there.
Oh, wow, yeah. That was for 21st place, in fact, between Consavicius and Vorpal. Only a few hundredths in it between them. Goodness gracious me. That was an incredible race. We've still got a couple of finishers left to take it here. Alfredo Cruciani, after his contact with the spun Jakob Scheppli in turn 1, coming into pit lane, and it seems that was effectively where his race ended. He did come back out in the end, but had to settle for 28th spot. So, your results from race 1. We had Ian Joyner and Timothy Ng taking our top 2 positions. Bas van der Lee in 3rd with Carl Diaz-Castro and Kevin Lau rounding out your top 5. Kevin Adrian winning the club class in P6. Brilliant move from him. Childers and Bone Steel, the top 8. Flip them, and that is your top 8 starting order for race 2. Arnio and Rivellino rounding out the top 10 ahead of Hobson, Paneni, Falcon, Johnson, Ori, Cords, Meisters, Kasim, Tamashiro, and Svoboda to round out your top 20. I was rushing through those because I saw we had about 30 seconds left on the timer, and then Connor Bell extended the grid timer, so take it away, Zippy.
Honestly, I got nothing but love here for Connor Bell. Dominicus Consavicius takes 21st with Marcus Vorpal in 22nd. Arian Mayer, his debut here in the Almeida Racing Academy, takes 23rd with Manuel Hoffer in 24th. Tyler Hark, a little bit of a rough run for him. He takes 25th with Norman Renner in 26th. Jacob Seepley, the Polish man himself, in 27th with Alfredo Cruciani having that late pit. Charles Krasik in 29th, and indeed Joe Haas in P number 30.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, not seeing the finish, and Connor Bell did not take to the start for race 1, but we should hopefully see him at the back of the grid for race 2 and see just how far he can find his way up the field. This is big for Todd Bonesteel. It's not often that we've seen him this high up the order, and this could be a great opportunity for him. It's going to be challenging for Bus, Timothy, and Ian to find their way through from 6th, 7th, and 8th as well. This track is difficult to pass on outside of turn 1.
Yeah, definitely going to be very challenging, but this could be an absolutely golden opportunity, as I can tell you. You know which car that is?
Oh, there he is.
Da.
Coach in the house. Connor Bell is going to start at the back of the grid. 20 seconds left on the grid timer. I wonder how far up he's going to make it.
Definitely pleased to have Connor Bell. We need to get some more sound effects, indeed, have them mapped to my buttons as well. Joe Haas is not yet taken to the grid, though. I think we're going to be getting ready to go here in just a second here. Todd Bonesteel must be absolutely sweating at the front of this pack.
He's got an empty track ahead of him and the entirety of the rest of the field behind him, including the pace car by about half a car length. Lights come up, and we're going to get ready to go in right now. Let's go. Todd Bonesteel puts the power down, and it's a reasonably good start from him. Slightly more momentum from Jeremy Childers starting off the first row alongside. They're going to draw side by side on the way into turn 1. Bonesteel tentative on the brakes into turn 1, understandably so. He will keep the lead out of the first turn. Meanwhile, it looks like a pretty clean start for everybody else. Everyone managed to... No, okay, I just jinxed it. Marcus Vorpal and Jakob Shepley did not make it through turn 1.
Yeah, because it's sim racing, I don't feel bad about laughing as much. But oh my word, that's a little bit of a cut there from Bonesteel. And side by side, it's Kevin on Kevin action, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, this is not somewhere you want to go too wide, but they're doing it anyway. And you can see there, it looks like Cardias Castro trying to find a way past the pair of them.
Yeah, but he's boxed in. It's going to be difficult for him to pull the move off here. He'll at least try to get past Kevin Adrian, but Kevin's carrying a good deal of speed into that corner. Side by side through here, as long as Diaz Castro has the momentum, he'll have the inside for roller coaster and should be able to complete the move. Just have a look at the ebb and flow of the gaps here and just how much time it's costing them running side by side through this section. They interlock wheels briefly.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is getting a little bit risky here, and indeed, Carl Diaz Castro just do the wise thing there and back out of it. Certainly, it would have been very, very colourful indeed. They would have potentially lost the lead cars. Kevin Lau able to absolutely run away with it. Indeed, he's got himself. Childers has put himself at the front of the pack. This could be a he's come close, but have we seen him win an Almeida Racing Academy race before? I know he's come close. But Bonesteel there, push back in a second now. Kevin Lau looking to absolutely devour the man.
Oh, hard on the brakes on the way into turn 1. This is a great move for Kevin Lau. He wasn't quite able to challenge the top 3 in race 1, but he's taken advantage of that grid invert, and now he'll set about chasing down Jeremy Childers. And speaking of Jeremy, I actually, it doesn't come to memory what his best result thus far has been in this series. Regardless, if he does end up winning this one, it'll be a great achievement. He's been a part of the Almeida Racing Academy and the Associated League pretty much since day dot. Oh dear. For Jonathan Hobson, though, it's all gone wrong coming out of NASCAR Bend, and we're about to see why.
Yeah, certainly absolutely love having the such a colourful paint job there. It goes in, and that is a solo error. It looks like a little bit of over-rotation there. Thankfully, no damage, able to get that car rolling again.
Understandable. I've made that same error an uncountable number of times in my laps of this track. For such a simple corner from the air, NASCAR Bend is incredibly difficult to get right. Here's a replay of the start, though. What happened to Marcus Vorpal and Jakob Shepley. 3 wide on the way out of the turn, and a bit of contact there. Recovering, and yeah, it looks like Marcus Vorpal didn't really do much wrong there. It was just a case of 3 wide going wrong, and Jakob Shepley being bounced into him.
Well, one thing that I am happy to see is Connor Bell, the NASCAR Canada superstar, indeed looking to potentially be Rookie of the Year. And indeed, he's up 11 spots. And the problem he's got now is the next car ahead, Tyler Harker, is one of his coaching students. So indeed, I have to wonder, is it going to be friendly fire? I'm going to say probably not. Connor is going to have no hesitation trying to find his way past the student. And indeed, already, look at the momentum he's gaining. Going to try and get it done down the outside, potentially, of NASCAR Bend.
You're getting a good demonstration here of a driver planning their moves in advance. You see that Connor is just focusing on the exit, straight lining the car out of it as soon as he can, and he uses that momentum to sling his way up the inside and get well into the top 20. At the other end of the field, it looks like Kevin Lau has managed to find his way into the lead. Jeremy Childers now back to second, but Todd Bonesteel, Carl Diaz-Castro, Ian Joyner, Timothy Eng, Bas van der Leij, and Rupesh Paneni are right there. Good turnaround for Rupesh.
Yeah, definitely a rough start to today. Certainly having that little bit of a stalling issue there at the front, but it looks like somebody's absolutely catastrophically falling through the order there. Matthew Johnson.
Oh dear. It seems that he has found the wall, and the mechanical black flag is being shown to him. That's a weird incident. Oh, that's really weird. I think we might need to get a trackside view of that just to see what went on, because to me it just looked like Johnson spun on his own, but I don't really know what to make of that.
So there was the first incident, and you see he's making his way down, and yep, everything's looking good. Looking good. All right. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So the incident itself happened a few corners later, I believe, and it seems to have claimed Alfredo Cruciani and Jakob Chipley as well, which is mildly unfortunate for the both of them. See the...
Oh, hit from the rear.
The car. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that seemed kind of netcody to me.
Yeah, definitely there was contact, we could say, and he is currently in the pits with the likes of Rich Meesters as well. Meanwhile, Todd Bonesteel, he's just lost another spot there as Timothy Ing, like I say, lost another spot. Timothy Ing there going side by side. Ian Joyner managed to find his way up into P4. He's got Carl Diaz-Castro just ahead, and Kevin Lau is going to have the pressure here of the number 77 of Jeremy Childers. I know the man loves IndyCar, but what can he do in a Formula 1600?
Our top 8 is now 2 groups of 4, and Childers is doing really well to hold on to this. What I love about racing this car, and I've certainly had my fair share of track time in it, is that, you know, whether or not you have the pace over a single lap is only really relevant for the starting order. Once you get up to speed, you are able to keep up with anyone because the slipstream is so strong, and you can use your driving talents properly when you get to the corners. Look at this, 2x2 into turn 1 for our top 4, and Joyner's trying around the outside of Jeremy Childers. Diaz-Castro finds his way past, and he's going to try and force Kevin Lau onto a tighter line.
Well, you see there, he's going to have to try a little bit harder there. Jeremy Childers looking to fight back. Indeed, not quite able to get side by side. Carries a little bit more momentum here. It's a tough call. Like, are you fighting the guy ahead? Are you fighting the guy behind? Indeed, Joyner gets it done. I think Childers could have maybe fought a little bit harder there, but it was almost a little bit buy one, get one free there. Diaz-Castro coming under attack as well. But right now, Kevin Lau currently leading the charge. Further back, though, Timothy Ing. He's not quite in contention with this lead 4-pack of cars, all vying for the free spots on the podium.
He has gained a little bit of breathing room over Todd Bonesteel, though. So Bonesteel, Paneni, and van der Leij are going to continue their fight. Kevin Adrian, Connor Bell, and Kemal Kassim, the battle for 11th. Meanwhile, Connor has made his way well up through this field. Passing, well, I mean, how many laps has it been? We're on lap 5 right now, and he's gained some
19 positions.
19 positions, so that's basically 4 cars past a lap.
Attaboy.
Very well done there from Connor Bell. But for our lead, it's on 3 wide across the start-finish line. Maybe, not quite. Joyner getting squeezed a little bit, but he's going to draw alongside them into turn 1. Carl Diaz-Castro in the middle. Who's going to come out ahead? Oh, they all come together just about, nearly a crash, but they somehow managed to get away with that. And Ian Joyner, with the best momentum out of turn 1, is going to move into the lead.
Well, absolutely fantastic stuff. But you got to wonder as well, just what can these guys do to answer back? Jeremy Childers currently lurking there in the wins. Timothy Ing has got ever closer. He is now in the draft. He's about a second behind him, just about hanging on. Connor Bell, though, the fastest lap with 129.36. He is absolutely hauling that car. But is it going to be enough to catch up to the likes of Ian Joyner? We're about halfway through this race with 1 more left to go.
Looks like Connor is working nicely at the moment, but this is where the battle really is for the lead. And that little side-by-side moment between our top three has brought Timothy Eng back into this. He is now sitting less than a second behind Jeremy Childers, which means he'll pick up the slipstream when they get out of Hogpen next. That'll close things up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an absolute belter for him. He's going to see this, and he's going to be smiling, ladies and gentlemen. The Malaysian driver looking to try and make a couple more points here as well. But Carl Diaz-Castro, he's been absent for a little bit. Indeed, it's good to have him back, as well as Connor Bell, who's currently up 20 spots now, ladies and gentlemen. He's there. P11. Can he find his way into the top 10? Anthony Ori, 8 tenths of a second ahead. Philip Falcon, another 4-5 tenths. It could be a little bit of pickings up here. And not only that, that is the club class win there that's been duked out there between Philip Falcon and Anthony Ori. Meanwhile, though, Bas van der Lee going toe-to-toe with Todd Bonesteel.
Here we go then. Around the outside of turn one. Bonesteel trying his best to hold on to it. We'll see what Bas has in store here for NASCAR Bend. You can certainly gain a lot of time through here if you get the line just right, but the ideal line through that corner remains a mystery to me, at least. Bas van der Lee then hard out of those turns as our top five are continuing to come together. Gotta say that Rupesh Paneni is not too far behind our top five, and I think Bonesteel and van der Lee, if the next lap goes all right for them, could be in contention for another spot.
Yeah, certainly Rupesh Paneni, definitely not somebody who's going to be giving it up easily as well, but this lead pack is absolutely duking it out still. Ian Joyner able to hold on to the front of the pack in the number 8, but he's being followed by the 88. It's Kevin Lau. Indeed, the man usually looks cool, calm and collected, but I don't think he's going to be able to. He's going to have to put on his poker face as Carl Diaz-Castro applying all sorts of pressure. He has to, because Jeremy Childers, and not only that, Timothy Eng will be keen to find their way onto the podium should he have a lapse of concentration.
Slowdown penalty for Kevin Adrian. He drops outside the top 15, and it looks like he's actually had a spin in the process. That's not ideal for the man who ended up winning the club class in race 1. There's the 14 of Ariane Mayer, new driver to the series, making his way past him. Unfortunately for Kevin, into roller coaster, the rear end just went on him.
I've got to say, fair play to him though. Oh, almost caught it, ladies and gentlemen. He almost caught it, but he's indeed still in the running, currently in P7 now in the club class. He's got Ariane Mayer just ahead though, and looking to try and make a move potentially. Is it going to be enough? Certainly he's making his debut there. Todd Bonesteel though, still going at it here with Bas van der Lee. These two guys have been absolutely duking out, and in the process, they've lost touch here with Rupesh Paneni. But look a little bit further back. It's the leader of the club class, not just in this race, but in the championship as well. And Philip Falcon is now going to have a new contender. It's Connor Bell, the real-life NASCAR Canada driver, looking to try and find his way up. 22 positions indeed, he's done it, and on to P9.
And up ahead of them, Bas van der Lee and Todd Bonesteel continue their fight, their little scrap side by side. They have lost another few tenths to Connor Bell, who will surely be right on the back of them by turn 1 potentially at the start of the next lap. It's been fantastic racing all through this field, and I gotta say, with 25 cars still running, we only have 3 of them who aren't officially classed as being in a battle right now.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. And you see there, look at the momentum Connor Bell is doing. Not only that, he's going to bring Philip Falcon and Anthony Ori with him as well. Certainly 2 cars coming into the mixes. Yet again, these guys are going toe-to-toe. Certainly Todd Bonesteel, maybe not learned the strategy here yet. Yes, you can fight the guy alongside you, but you may be better off to try and work with them as Connor Bell goes even faster, a 129.16. I do have to wonder, though, what can he do with a little bit of a drop? Certainly Ian Joyner was knocking on the door of a 128. Are we going to see a driver this race find his way forward? As that's contact there, Bonesteel, Bas van der Lee. Connor Bell says, thank you very much, takes them both, and Bas van der Lee there is very much able to keep it going, but he's now got Luis Revellino, Kemal Kasim to contend with as well. Oh, my apologies, Anthony Ori.
Yeah, looked like the crossover attempt from Todd Bonesteel went slightly wrong there, unfortunately. So that's demoted the both of them by a few positions. You'll see it here. Look, he was trying to go for the over-under, but I think he was expecting the door to open on the exit a bit sooner than that.
Yeah, definitely a little bit unfortunate there. Bas van der Lee able to keep the car rolling though. Some good, clean, hard racing. But we're going to go and take a look here. Back at the front of the pack. Conor Bell now up 24 positions for the number 6. But realistically, Rupesh Manani 3.5 seconds ahead. This may be it for Conor Bell. But meanwhile, at the front of the pack, Ian Joyner still holding on. Are we going to see the white flag here? We're looking at Barney. And indeed, I think we may be going for one more lap.
Yep, 1 minute and 23, 22, 21 seconds on the clock as they cross the line. A lap around here taking closer to 1 minute 30. So this will be the start of the final lap of race 2. And, I mean, any of the drivers you see on screen could potentially take victory here. But if I were to put my money on anyone, let's be honest, it'd probably be Ian Joyner. He's been the most successful driver this season, and he's almost always found a way to keep drivers behind him. But Kevin Lau is no stranger to winning races in the F1600 either. He's got form to back himself up too. Carl Diaz Castro with his major improvements over the last couple of seasons, and Childers and Eng very strong here as well. Timothy Eng, in fact, I believe taking the first race win of season 8 some 6 weeks ago. Who's going to come out on top? That's a bit wide for Joyner. He certainly likes to use that extra concrete there that's been laid down on the exit of that corner. And I think Kevin Lau has picked up some nice momentum from that. A little bit of slipstream coming into play there through the corners into roller coaster for the final time. And it looks like Kevin is as close to Ian as he can possibly get here. Might just be enough to pick up a good slipstream out of the final corner all over the curbs. But Joyner gets on the power slightly sooner. I think that's enough of an advantage to keep the lead to the line, but we'll just have to wait. Checkered flag is out, and the momentum is there for Kevin Lau. But again, the start-finish line comes up too soon. Ian Joyner wins again.
Yeah, certainly good battle as well. Bas van der Lee, though, trying to get one more here. On top of Bonesteel, these two guys are definitely scrapping it out. And on this occasion, Bonesteel able to get the better of him. We had a little bit further back, though. Ilari Arnio now, he's very much in contention. Driven Andres Svoboda, a little bit of his money. Further back, Kevin Adrian and Arian Mayer there had a little bit of a battle as well. Definitely not the race that Adrian was looking for. Tyler Harker, though, he's currently in the pits. Charles Krasik looks like he's trying to make one more position here at the end. This is going to be up against Lance Tamashiro. Oh, he's got the run.
And it looks like, yeah, he has. Oh, and I think he's going to make his way past before the line. He will. So Charles Krasik, after getting cleaned up at turn 1, lap 1, manages to come across the line in 24th. So well done to him. He stuck it out and saw it through to the end. Lovely stuff. And that is race 2 fully concluded. Ian Joyner, once again, top dog, with Kevin Lau finishing second to him. In third place, Bas van der Lee, with Carl Diaz Castro and Kevin Lau rounding out your top 5. We had Kevin Adrian finishing in I've been reading the wrong results there. Joyner, Lau, Diaz Castro, Childers and Eng are your top 5, with Rupesh Pineni and Conor Bell rounding out your top 7 there. Bell making it up an astonishing 20 plus places there. Anthony Ori takes the club class win. That's going to be beneficial to him in the battle for the points with his championship rival there, Philip Falcon. Todd Bonesteel and Bas van der Lee round out your top 10.
Let's have a look there at Pier 11. It's going to be Philip Falcon with Louis Revellino in 12th. Kemal Kasim takes 13th with Dominicus Conservicius in 14th. Andres Svoboda there in 15th, the Czech driver, with the Finn just behind him of Ilariano in 16th. Kevin Adrian definitely paying pretty hard there for that little bit of an off-track excursion. He takes 17th with Arian Mayer in 18th. Jonathan Hobson, a little bit of a rough race for him. Did have a couple of incidents, indeed, which catapulted him down to P19th, with Norman Renner rounding out your top 20.
Manuel Hofer finishes 21st ahead of Michael Cords and Marcus Vorpal, who was involved in the Turn 1 incident with Jakob Chepley. Charles Krasik and Lance Tamashiro, the last finishers. 25 cars seeing the checkered flag. Tyler Harker disconnected from the server after ending his race 2 in the pits. That's unfortunate for him, especially after he was able to qualify 11th for race 1. Matthew Johnson didn't make it to the finish either. Neither did Rich Meesters, Alfredo Cruciani, or Jakob Chepley. Joe Haas not taken to the start in either race so far. So, with all of that, we are going to step aside and take a breather here with a word from the Almeida Racing Academy.
now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Suelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because of the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Creating champions.
Suelio Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Way to race, buddy, way to race.
And go.
You're watching Pit Road Productions and the Almeida Racing Academy. Brilliant stuff in the first couple of races so far. I'm Reese Gardner, Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the comms box. And joining us here in the last minute or so of warm-up is Connor Bell, resident coach in the server here. Great run up through the field, Connor. You certainly got the pace to get into that top 10, but you've got some real-life racing coming up. You just come from Alberta, and next week you're going to be racing at the Grand Prix Trois-Rivières, which is one of my favorite street circuits in the world.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Last week we had a decent weekend in Alberta, but we're finally done with the big oval swing of the season, and now we get to 4 road courses in the next 5 weeks, so it should be fun.
What are you thinking about Trois-Rivières? It's a really tough circuit. I can't imagine what it's like in a stock car.
Yeah, I've been there a few times before in very low horsepower Subaru, about a third of the horsepower of what I'm going to be working with there next weekend. So I'm honestly not 100% sure what to expect. I know a lot of the braking zones there are very bumpy, and something you have to watch out for in these stock cars is some wheel hop under braking. So that'll be a challenge, and of course managing that 550 horsepower on exit will add to the fun.
It certainly will. You've got a pretty packed schedule in the next 5 weeks. You're going to be racing over 4 weekends, so you're going to be a busy boy.
For sure. Yeah, it's going to be busy, but I'm really looking forward to it. That's sort of my bread and butter, the road courses. So I just want one win.
Indeed. Well, you managed to win on debut, so you've definitely got some records to back up there in NASCAR Canada. What do you think this final race is going to bring? VIR North is traditionally a pretty difficult circuit to pass on, but the F1600s don't seem to have much trouble with that.
Yeah, these cars are so much fun. I think on this track, it's pretty much the perfect combo. There's so much draft on the front stretch, so I think what it's going to come down to here in the last race, we're longer, 20-minute race this time around. It's going to come down to decision making, right? We've been talking about this a lot in the workshops. So just drivers biding their time, waiting for the right move, and pouncing when they can. So it'll be interesting to see when drivers try and go for moves.
Absolutely. You are going to be starting up in P7 for this one. We'll see how close you can get to the win here. Thanks for joining us, Connor. We appreciate you coming in. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
Connor Bell there, racing here today in the Almeida Racing League. One of the coaches who can teach you the ins and outs of race driving. Let's see then, Ian Joyner start on pole position for this one with Kevin Lau alongside him, Kyle Diaz-Castro and Jeremy Childers third and fourth, ahead of Timothy Ing, Rupesh Paneni, Connor Bell and Anthony Ori, who has the club class pole. Todd Bonesteel and Bas Vanderlei came together a couple of times in race 1. We'll see if they continue their battle here in race 2 and race 3.
Close enough, Reese. Indeed, these guys have been absolutely duking out Philip Falcon, though, he's going to be starting in P11 for Louis Rivellino in P12. Kemal Kasim, he's a regular here. He's starting in P13 for Dominicus Conservicius in 14th. Andres Sabota is in take 15th for Valeriano, our favourite Finn. They're in 16th. Kevin Adrian is in 17th with Arian Mayer in 18th. Sorry. Jonathan Hobson takes 19th, and then Norman Renner rounding out your top 20.
Manuel Hofer outside the top 20. He is looking for a good result here today. Ahead of Michael Cords and Marcus Vorpal, with Charles Krasic rounding out the top 24 places. Lance Tamashiro starting ahead of Matthew Johnson, as Tyler Harker's not going to take to the start here. Rich Meesters, Alfredo Cruciani, Jakob Shepley. The last drivers on the field, Joe Haas once again not taking to the start. The question on my mind, Zippy, is can Ian Joyner take 3 from 3 here today?
Definitely, it's a solid bet by all means. Not that we encourage you to gamble, but certainly that's who my money would be on. But I have to admit, though, I mean, we see it in the likes of like WDCR with DJ Alessandrini being the man to beat. I think Ian Joyner, he's not quite at that level, but he's definitely giving them a good run for his money. Indeed, we'll have to put on a Pit Road Production special, which we are going to be doing for week 13. And what way is it going to be, Reese? It's going to be stock cars. It's going to be the late model stock at VIR.
Oh, it's going to be such a good time. We'll have some details coming out of that after the weekend, but we are live for the start of race 3 here, and it's a solid start from everyone at the top of the field. Unfortunately, Manuel Hofer has not taken to the start, so we've already lost one more driver there, but Ian Joyner is going to cover the lead from Kevin Lau through turn 1, and Connor Bell is just biding his time back there, remaining in P7 and just looking for those moves. It's side by side between Timothy and Rupesh Panini, and there's trouble at the back. Lance Tamashiro, Matthew Johnson, and Marcus Vorpal, all with parts missing from their cars.
Yeah, that is definitely not the race start that a couple of these drivers were looking for, but we are going to return to the front of the pack, at least for now. We'll take a quick look at that a little bit later on. Right now, Ian Joyner currently there, trying to break away. We know he is pretty quick without a drop, but what can he do? He needs to pull away by over a second if he wants to have a chance of keeping the likes of Kevin Lau behind him. Meanwhile, though, further back, we're seeing all sorts of action going on. Looks like Manuel Hoffer there getting into either a connection issue or something's going on there further back for him. Meanwhile, though, Arian Mayer currently there in P number 18, applying all sorts of pressure here to the back of Andre Sabota.
This is a tight fight indeed for these lower positions in the field. Doesn't matter where you are in a field like this, you will have someone to race with. That's what I love about this league. It's very difficult to see exactly what's happening to Manuel Hofer, because apparently his connection's not great, but that was a big spin there, I think, for Norman Rinner or Rich Meesters. Not entirely sure whom, but looks like it was Rich who came a cropper through the twisties.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay. Just gets a little bit of curve, a little bit cold tires. Indeed, ends up sliding that car over. Thankfully, everything was A-okay. Let's take a look there back at the start and find out exactly what happened earlier on.
Yeah, so some big trouble further back in the field on lap 1. Matthew Johnson, the one to come off worse from that. Apparently it was some big difficulties here at the very back. He looks like he kind of got cleaned up from behind. Oh my goodness me. Johnson tried to find a way through all of that, but who was that tumbling over? Potentially might have been Marcus Vorpal or Lance Tamashiro. We'll see here. Oh, God. Yeah, I think that might have been either Vorpal or... not Jakob Chepley. He's still rolling. I think it might have been Vorpal.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a look for you there, Reese.
Yeah, that's certainly not the way you want your race to end. It was indeed Vorpal, just got hit in the back and then collided with the wheels of the car alongside him. And well, there was only one way that car was going, and it was up and over.
Yeah, that is definitely not the way you want to have a race start. Meanwhile, though, at the front of the pack, it's yet again Ian Joyner, the driver of the 8, with the 88, the likes of Kevin Lau, breathing down his neck. And that looks like Connor Bell now trying to make a move here up on the inside of Rupesh Panini. Certainly, it's an ambitious move. It's a solid move, but is it going to be enough? We've seen here at turn 1, the outside line can often be a fantastic passing opportunity. As you see them bottling up a little bit there, Jeremy Childers with a little bit of a correction. Connor Bell sees the opportunity. He's going to try and make a pass on the outside of NASCAR Bend.
Can he get it done? Is he going to try and go for the over-under? Well, it's probably a bit of a difficult move to pull off with those two other cars right behind him, Rupesh Panini and Timothy Ng, who are trying their best themselves to get the fight done through left hook. Connor Bell with a fantastic run, and into the right-hander he takes the fourth running position. Unfortunate news for drivers further down the order as well. We have lost Kevin Adrian. It was a coming together with Dominicos Consavicius on the previous lap that put paid to his results, but our top three is now starting to streak away, as it looks like now the shoe is on the other foot and everyone wants to try and pass Connor Bell.
Indeed, it's certainly there is a downside to being an academy coach, and it's not that he's got a target on his back, but indeed everybody would like to very much say that they managed to beat an academy coach. And certainly I do actually remember rather fondly when they had it where you could score bonus points for every lap you kept a coach behind you. Mike Sargent, without a doubt, the most stubborn man when it came to that, and certainly myself would have given him a good run for his money as well. But right now, Ian Joyner, he's there leading the charge. Kevin Lau and indeed Carl Diaz-Castro start to pull away from the likes of Connor Bell now. Rupesh Panini, you do have to wonder if he's going to be looking to try and work together with his surrounding competitors to try and find his way forward. Meanwhile, though, my word, that's Joyner!
Oh! Yeah, Joyner just got cleaned up there into turn one. It looks like Kevin Lau overshot the braking point and absolutely wiped out our championship leader. That's awkward.
Well, let's take a quick peek here from the point of view of Kevin Lau. Comes across and, yeah. Whoa.
He wasn't going to make the apex. Kyle Diaz-Castro taking advantage and slipping through. Slick as you like. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, the position change came about in a way that certainly Ian Joyner won't be too impressed with.
Well, the good thing for Ian Joyner is he is still running, and he is, don't get me wrong, probably got a little bit of damage there, but not a lot. If I take a look at the car, it does seem to be clean, but right ahead of him, he's got the likes of Philip Falcon, Louis Relivo, and indeed the likes of Todd Bonesteel. Now, we know that Bonesteel is not afraid to have a fight, and this time, Bas van der Lee's managed to shake him, so that's good news for Bas, but is it going to be good news for Louis Rivellino, who gets a little bit there of a correction? Philip Falcon looking to try and capitalize on it, backs out of it, and Ian Joyner says, well, if you're not going to go, I will. Moves his way back up into P11.
Turns out to have been a bit of a lucky escape for Joyner, I think. That contact looked heavy enough that I thought for sure Ian Joyner would be too damaged to continue, but he isn't. So he's managed to make up a bit more time here and may still be on for a top 10 finish out of this one. Anthony Ori, meanwhile, and Bas van der Lee fighting behind a very different looking front of the pack now, and they're both just trying to get out of each other's hair right now, because I'm sure they're aware if they can get into single file and work together, they'll be right on the back of all these guys.
Yeah, honestly, this is where you need to think about the strategy. They're still going side by side, and in just that couple of corners alone, they've lost about 3-4 tenths of a second. It's absolutely destroying their race. They need to get into single file because the lead pack is literally ebbing away 2 seconds now.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. The pace that the top pack has.
Brave.
Timothy Ng. Oh, throwing up the inside of Childers, and look at the run that Rupesh Panini just got on Kevin Lau. A brilliant maneuver through that right-hander, and Lau with was actually quite a big slide that he had there that allowed Panini past him. Connor Bell now harassing Kyle Diaz-Castro, and we'll see if he can make the move for the lead here at the end of this lap. Remember, it's a 20-minute race, and so we've got an extra 5 minutes worth of action to come from here. And once Connor Bell gets into the lead, he won't be able to break away.
Well, certainly, I'm looking forward to seeing this. I had a good load of battle in there with Carl Diaz-Castro, and indeed, what happens when you mix a commentator and academy students together? Indeed, it was good fun. We should do that again, Kyle. But right now, you got an academy coach to play with Connor Bell there, trying to find his way into the lead. Looks like Rupesh Panini now trying to apply a bit of pressure as well. Kevin Lau's in on the mix. Jeremy Childers in on the mix. We're going to have an absolute onslaught of a fight. All 6 of these cars in the top 6. Any one of them could make their way to the front of the pack.
Big slide for Carl Diaz-Castro there, and off the circuit for Rupesh Panini. Bit too much of a hard exit there from NASCAR Bend, and Timothy Ng. He's having his own issues there, trying to stay ahead of Rupesh. But Fortunately, they work themselves out through those lower S's. All of this fighting has given Bas van der Lee and Anthony Ori a little bit of a leg up, not to mention Ian Joyner, who's now close enough to these guys that he might be able to get some slipstream.
Yeah, Ian Joyner, by all means, is definitely not a vindictive man from what we've seen so far, but he's definitely going to be keen to try and find his way forward. The biggest obstacle he's going to have is just ahead of Bas van der Lee. It's about a 1.5, 1.6 second gap to the back of this lead pack, currently being tailed by Rupesh Manani. Certainly, it's been a rough day for Rupesh. He's managed to make a good recovery, currently in the same position as where he started, but this lead pack, anything could realistically happen. If these guys start to scrap, Connor Bell will literally just check out from this race.
Yeah, so now the onus is on Kevin Lau and Carl Diaz-Castro to not get in each other's way. They need to keep Connor Bell within striking distance, and with the long front straight, they can easily do that on the way into turn one. A little bit of a look there from Kyle, and it looks like Kevin Lau having to give some space to Timothy Ng there on the inside, as Ng now gets passed by Childers, and Rupesh Paneni is right at the back of the pack now. He's looking to gain one of these spots. Is there going to be a coming together through NASCAR Bend? Not quite, just enough space left.
Indeed, absolutely fantastic battling right now. As we got a couple of people in the chat. Matthew Johnson making an appearance there. He's definitely not having the day he's looking for. Ian Joyner, though, that last lap round, able to get into the 129s, and not only that, comfortably 129.07. Incredible close. He did a 129.04, was his fastest lap in qualifying. I do have to wonder, are we going to see the 128s come into play? As Anthony Ori now is going to be putting up the defense, but how hard? He's currently P1 in the club class, and his next nearest competition is Philip Falcon, who's about 3 or 4 cars back.
This could result in a bit of a point swing in the club class. Remember, Philip Falcon was leading the club class championship coming into this one, and he managed to get the club win in race 1, but he's finished behind Ori, separated by a few cars, no less, in race 2, and looks to similarly be the case in race 3. So Philip Falcon was enjoying quite a solid championship margin up until this round. It might narrow out coming out of VIR.
Yeah, certainly I'm having a look on my screen on timing. Manuel Hoffer, there you go. You can see him flashing in and out repeatedly. I'm surprised he's not been kicked out of the server for that, honestly. Like, are you seeing him the same thing on your end?
Yeah, I'm seeing him constantly disappear off my timing screen. And, you know, usually, well, I guess it might not have been enabled in the session settings, the connection black flag. We'll have to keep... Oh, no! Oh, dear! Oh, dearie me. Oh, it's all gone completely up in the air with the top 10 or top 5 battle. Jeremy Childers gets back going again there, but Kevin Lau has towed back to pit lane.
Well, Timothy Ng, I can tell you, does indeed have a meatball flag as well. I'll say the right front may have been what took the most damage. He's pulling over now. That's it. His race is done. But that's good news for Ian Joyner. He's now up there. I say up there. He's back up to P in number 4. Connor Bell able to avoid it. Carl Diaz-Castro able to avoid it. And realistically, this is exactly what I was saying could happen. If Connor Bell gets at least a second ahead, he will break away. Carl Diaz-Castro, right now, the pressure is on. On best lap, there's just 0.07 of a second between them. But is it going to be enough? Is the slipstream going to be there? One false braking maneuver, and Diaz-Castro is going to lose his chance at an Almeida Racing League win.
Indeed, 6 laps remain for our leaders, and Anthony Ori is going to make his way up alongside Rupesh Paneni. That incident has really spaced out this battle in the top 10. It's now a few groups of 2, and this is how it happened. Contact between Kevin Lau and Timothy Ng. They just both went for the same piece of racetrack there coming into left hook, and unfortunately, Jeremy Childers didn't have anywhere to go on that front. Neither did Timothy Ng. So far from ideal, and it looks like Rupesh Paneni had trouble as well. That's Childers' view of it all. I mean, really, there was not much he could do short of just going into the grass and hoping he didn't hit the tire barrier.
Yeah, realistically, he was a sitting duck in that scenario. But right now, Bas van der Lee, he's got a familiar contender, the likes of Ian Joyner. He's going to have to put under the fence. Certainly, Bas van der Lee, he's been consistently near the podium, but he's not been able to get too many of them this season so far. Is this going to be his chance? Is he going to be able to hold back the number 8 of Ian Joyner, your series leader, a former champion? And realistically, he may have his guns very much sharpened and with a crosshair on the driver of the number 4.
Yes, it's likely that this may be the only other position Joyner can gain for the rest of this race. Just Connor and Kyle are so far ahead right now, about 2.7 seconds or so, which is going to be difficult to make up when they've got slipstream off each other. Speaking of slipstream, there goes Ian Joyner, and he'll try his best to outbrake Bas van der Lee here. Bas actually lets him have that one.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, I've just dropped that.
Oh dear.
We're good.
Up a date.
We're good.
Ian Joyner back up into third now, and the battles are really happening further back in the field there. That's Luis Rivellino around the outside of Norman Rinner, with Jeremy Childers back with them there, still rolling despite the damage he undoubtedly gained from that incident. And you see the pace difference here. He's going to try, almost nearly clips the rear left there of the number 125. Slightly wide of the apex is Norman, and from these onboard views you get such a good view of how much these cars actually move around through the corners. It's difficult to see sometimes when you're watching them externally trackside from lower angles, but from higher angles and onboards you can really get a sense for how these things are just going sideways through the corners. Watch this direction change here. It almost looks like they are oversteering, drifting through those corners. That's what you got to do to be fast in this thing.
Yeah, it does remind me of the Skip Barber car a little bit. Certainly that, a similar amount of power, but with a very slightest little bit of error there. But right now, Jeremy Childers trying to apply all sorts of pressure. Realistically, he is the last Premier car in the top 10. At the front of the pack, though, Connor Bell has not been able to shake off the likes of Kyle Diaz-Castro, the Puerto Rican driver himself, indeed the Chief Operating Officer of the Almeida Racing Academy. Currently resting there in second. Further back, though, Ian Joyner found his way ahead, but it's Bas van der Lee. Is he going to be waiting for maybe a little bit of a late move here and try and get his way back up onto the podium?
I'm pretty sure that might be one of the options that's going through Bas's head right now. I think priority number 1 is staying in touch with Ian, because he's still the fastest car out there at the moment is Ian Joyner. 129.2, matching the pace of Diaz-Castro and Bell. But it just seems like they're not able to get some momentum going to catch up to our top 2. So maybe by this point, 3 laps to go when they cross the line next, Bas is thinking, yeah, this is the battle. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm going to be. If I can get another podium out of this one, already finishing third in race 1, he'd certainly take it. But Jeremy Childers now sees a bit of oversteer ahead of him and will try to find his way past Norman Rinner here through the twisty, flowing section up the back of the circuit. Little bit of a lift there. I think he's just making sure he doesn't get too close.
Yeah, that one there, he definitely had an opportunity to potentially go past, but indeed chose the safer option. But right now, fair play. I think Norman Rinner is absolutely milking that car. If he goes any harder, he's going to have cheese there in the cockpit. But certainly fair play to him. He's going to need some toast if he wants to hold on to P number 13. Don't ask me where that came from.
Yeah. Manuel Hofer continuing to flash there. It's going to be difficult for those around him to see where he is, but Ian Joyner continuing his run here, and worth pointing out, he has the fastest lap and he's managed to get into the 1 minute 28. That's the first time I think we've seen anyone do that today.
Certainly incredibly close action, but they're currently 2.6 seconds back, and not a man who has needed a draft. I want to try and get a camera on here on Kemal Kassim, because in theory, 0.3 of a second behind is the likes of Manuel Hofer, who has literally had the worst connection I have ever seen in iRacing service, and that's probably going for 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, indeed. It's not ideal for Manuel, but he is still being classed in 11th spot right now, and Kemal Kassim is continuing to chase down Jonathan Hobson in the process. Charles Krasic here down in 18th spot and all on his own. It's very rare that you see a practically empty racetrack in front and behind in a field as numerous as this, but Krasic, I have to say, has done a good job recovering from the issues that he's suffered, but the mechanical black flag on his car is due to that little bit of contact there.
Oh, and Oh, my.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was big. I think Rich Meester's got involved in that too.
Yeah, I think so too, with Charles Krasick the only one who's currently serving a meatball flag. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, Carl Diaz-Castro gets ever closer, but is it going to be enough? I'd say we're probably on the, I don't know if we're quite on the last lap yet. Time is running out. Penultimate lap, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Reese. As right now, Carl Diaz-Castro, he's running out of opportunities here. He would not only love to get a race win, he's done that before, but to be able to beat the Academy coach, I think that's something that he would indeed find incredibly satisfying. But is it going to be enough? Connor Bell, you're potentially your Rookie of the Year in the NASCAR Canada Series. It's looking good for him. And indeed, a talented driver in his own right. Runs incredibly wide there. In my opinion, he'd know better than me. I'd say he's using all of the track. I can't contest this man's lines, but certainly he's currently out there at the lead. But is it going to be enough? Is Carl Diaz-Castro potentially going to get an opportunity at the end of this race?
That is the question, and I think Kyle is doing everything right now to get ever closer to Connor Bell, and they're keeping Ian Joyner and Bas van der Lee at bay in the process. The gap between second and third is currently sitting at about 2.5 seconds as the white flag is about to emerge from that flag stand where Barney sits watching the Sentinel over this motor race. Across the line for Connor Bell, 129.2. Carl Diaz-Castro, 129.0. Same for Ian Joyner, and Diaz-Castro goes for the move around the outside of turn 1, but a bit more momentum on the way in for Connor Bell.
Contact.
He's going to keep the lead. They bang wheels.
Yeah, certainly. Do I want to see these guys come to blows? No. Do I want to see them race as hard as they possibly can? Potentially have a little bit of door rubbing, side pod rubbing. Yes. As right now, you see Ian Joyner 2.5 seconds back. These guys keep going side by side. They may find Ian Joyner will become and join the party as he runs a little bit wide there, does Diaz-Castro. That may be the end of his opportunity. Meanwhile, though, further back, Bas van der Lee trying to find his way onto the podium.
In the slipstream of Joyner, but you're not going to get much of a slipstream here with the course cut short like that. The S's in the background just saying, next time, guys, you'll be able to tackle me. These S's are a very nice substitute indeed. Bas just trying to keep that momentum up, but it's really difficult to pick your apexes through this section. Ian Joyner has done enough to stay ahead on the way into Roller Coaster, but he'll be vulnerable down the start-finish straight. Speaking of, Connor Bell emerging onto it, starting from the very back in race 2, and he managed to find his way up to the top spot in race 3. It is going to be Bell who wins this race here, the resident coach, but Carl Diaz-Castro will get the points for the win here, with Ian Joyner holding off Bas van der Lee for third place on the road. Should get points for podium for both of them. Luis Rivellino trying now to gain one more position here and get into 11th versus Manuel Hoffa. And he has done it. And we actually see Manuel Hoffa stay present in physical space for more than a few seconds.
Yeah, certainly he was indeed, for lack of better words, hopping dimensions there. What about Charles Krasick, though? He's got a little bit of a run, but I don't think it's going to be enough there. Ilari Arnio about 0.3 of a second ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Charles is just a bit too far back to take advantage of that one, but still a nice run up there and managed to see the checkered despite the mechanical black flag on his car. Marcus Vorpal, the last running car at the moment, Lance Tamashiro and Dominicus Consavicius just traded spots on the way up to the line as well for 21st place. Was a bit of a race of attrition at the very back of the field, losing a couple of heavy hitters like Kevin Lau and Timothy Ng, as well as Kevin Adrian, who we expected to be up there in the top 10 again as well. But regardless, everyone who finished at least one race today certainly achieved something. It's a super tight field, and we find Kyle Diaz-Castro making his entrance into the commentary box once again. But before we do that, let's go through our results. Connor Bell on top with Diaz-Castro and Ian Joyner first, second and third on the road. Bas van der Lee and Rupesh Paneni round out your top 5 ahead of Anthony Ori and Philip Falcon, who ended up finishing only a few seconds apart in 6th and 7th for the club class win. Todd Bonesteel and Jonathan Hobson 8th and 9th, and Kemal Kasim 3rd in the club class, rounding out the top 10.
Attaboy, Kemal. Louis Revellino takes 11th with Manuel Hoffa. I'd say the flying saucer himself, but I don't think that's quite going to cut it on that one. Certainly a spotty connection indeed. He's there in I've lost my place there. In 12th with Michael Cords in 13th. Norman Rinner, a little bit better from him today. He takes 14th with Jeremy Childers in 15th. A good solid race, but not quite enough on results board in the final run of the day. Rich Means to stay 16th with Jacob Seapley in 17th. Ilari Arnio, our favourite Finn, he's there in 18th with Charles Kraska 19th. Indeed, Andrzej Saboda, the Czech driver, in 20th.
Lance Tamashiro just beating Dominicus Consavicius to the line there for the last couple of positions on the lead lap. Marcus Vorpol coming home 2 laps down. Unfortunately, Alfredo Cruciani was not able to make it back out on circuit much. Kevin Lau and Timothy Ing retiring after their massive coming together. Ariane Maya did not see the finish in race 3, but still got a pair of finishes in races 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Kevin Adrian and Matthew Johnson, our other 2 retirees from race 3, a shameful, the both of them. And Tyler Harker, last we saw of him, was halfway through race 2. He did not take part in race 3. So now it's time for us to have a chat to our drivers here, and I think we should go to Ian Joyner first, as he was the driver who won in races 1 and 2. Ian, welcome, and well, that was very tightly competitive, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Start with congrats to Kyle. It's great to see him winning the feature. Just so much for Academy, so yeah, nice job. It was a slightly eventful race. It's kind of fun, kind of fighting back through the feature, and then different to the ones where it was a little bit of fighting, but yeah, a lot of mirror watching as well. So it's a good track to race compared to Tsukuba. I think the biggest difference being the length of the straights just really packs everyone up. It's very hard to clear the draft, so it ends up being pack racing with quite long corners and yeah, lots of overlap, which yeah can easily go wrong, but it's great fun.
Speaking of going wrong and that slipstream down the straight, unfortunately, you were in the lead of race 3 when Kevin Lau missed the braking point and went into the back of you. I said live that it was very lucky that you managed to escape from that without race-ending damage and still finish on the podium. That was a minor blip in what was otherwise a very successful night for you.
Yeah, it was a shame. I have to admit, going onto the straight that time, I think it was the first time I had enough of a gap where I didn't have to defend. Yeah, maybe I should have defended. I think, to be honest, Kevin's already apologised, but I think he was probably keeping an eye on Kyle and just missed his braking point a little. Luckily, yeah, I mean, could have gone worse. Had no damage, a lot of positions, but it was a fun race back from there. Just Kyle and Connor a little bit too quick to close the gap later on.
Indeed. Regardless, you should still come away as the round winner, winning the first 2 races, getting on the podium in all 3. So all up, successful time for you, Ian, and we hope to be chatting to you again same time next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Ian Joyner there. And Zippy, I'll leave it up to you as to who you'd like to talk to next.
Well, Kyle Diaz Castro, certainly it's been a little bit of a time here since we've seen you here in the broadcasting booth, but what a return. Able to give a good run for his money there. Just how badly did you want to beat Connor Bell?
I was thinking more strategically there. I already knew that if I just kept it behind Connor, I was going to keep his draft, and because my biggest competition at that point was Ian. I knew without Connor Bell's draft, Ian would definitely close the gap on me. I'm probably like 3 to 5 tenths slower than him on my own pace, so I strategically stayed behind Connor the entire time, only trying to battle him on the last lap, which I couldn't keep it on the outside of that one corner, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Well, certainly that was the strategy, but you've answered like a true politician. I asked, how badly did you want to beat Connor Bell?
Relative, like I'll give it like a
11 out of 10?
Say 10. I'll say like an 8.5 out of 10. I didn't. After defending him that one move, because he taught me the first defensive move I did against him when he finally caught up to me. He taught me during yesterday's pit party how to defend that corner, and I successfully did it. And I was kind of proud of it, but unfortunately, there's a reason why he's a coach. So.
Well, certainly, we're going to throw over to you on this one, Connor. Indeed, the student now being a little bit of a nuisance, but you was able to come out on top. What else do you think that we need to teach Kyle there, just so we can get the better of you at the next round?
Yeah, I think if Kyle had an extra tenth even per lap, he would have been able to get a couple goes at me. But yeah, overall, Kyle made a lot of great decisions in that race. Like he was already mentioning, he was just being patient, sitting in my draft, and then was close enough on the last lap to try and go for it. So huge shout out to Kyle. For those that don't know, Kyle started the MX5 season last season and season 7 at, I think, 1,500 I rating in sports cars, and by the end, within, I think, 4 weeks, we got him to almost 4,000 I rating. We did one of the coaching packages with myself, and he did some sessions with Kane as well. So really good to see the progress there, and a shame Ian got taken out, because I was hoping for a good race there, but it is what it is. We'll pick it back up next week and see where things go.
But certainly a good demonstration of why you need to be part of the Almeida Academy. Not knocking you, Kyle, but if we can make you quicker, I'm sure we can make a lot more people quicker as well. The real challenge will be, can he make me quicker? Certainly. But speaking of that, Reese, I know that me and you are going to have a little bit of fun on Sunday night. We're going to try and teach me Grand Prix Travaux VIR. And I do understand there's a driver in this broadcasting booth right now who'd be up to join us. Would you like to speak now?
Sure, I volunteer. Yeah, I think getting some practice in there, showing Zippy around that place is going to help for next weekend.
Well, certainly.
Well, that just piles the pressure on me to make sure that I get the server sorted. Because if I can't do that, then we're not going to be doing it the right way, are we?
Well, certainly, anybody at home, if you are really schooled and really knowledgeable in how to get an Assetto Corsa server going, by all means, please reach out to us, either myself, Reese Gardner, or if you're already in the academy, you know what, go and bother Connor Bell. You've got my executive permission to do so. Sorry, Connor. But certainly, we're looking forward to that. That's going to be a little bit of a giggle on Sunday night. But absolutely fantastic battling here. Connor, from the coach's point of view, what do you think the students really benefited from learning at this particular venue, and what do you think a couple of lessons could be for them going forward in the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of good patience here, especially in the, I guess, second race, my first race of the day. I saw a lot of drivers being really smart, really strategic. I was coming through, they saw I was coming with a head of steam, and they were just basically letting me go and tucking in.
Cowards.
So I saw a lot of that. That was excellent decision making. And then moving forward, I think there's a little bit of momentum stuff we can still work on, but outside of that, it's looking better.
Well, certainly, I'm looking forward to us having that Pit Road Productions and indeed the Almeida Racing Academy special event at the end of the season. Certainly, we did figure out what it was. I do remember asking you, Connor, though, which car would be the most comparable to your stock car, your NASCAR Canada car, and the sim, and I think you said the ARCA car. And we decided that maybe a little bit too spicy for us. We're going to do the late model stock actually at this particular venue as well. VIR, ladies and gentlemen, Virginia International Raceway, but the full layout as well. Ian, what do you think is going to be, do you think you're going to adapt well to that? Obviously being a bigger, heavier car than the Almeida Academy has ever seen before.
I wasn't listening. Don't ask me the question again.
Attaboy. Ian Joyner, he's focused on one thing and it's going fast.
I was watching the replay.
Fair play. So Ian, for the special event here at the end of the season, Pit Road Productions in association here with the Almeida Racing Academy is going to be putting on the late model stock fixed setup here at Virginia International Raceway. My question to you, sir, is how do you think you're going to adapt to having such a beefy vehicle?
I just can't wait to race Connor on it. That sounds awesome.
Connor,
no
pressure.
It'd be very, very different. We've done a few of the Academy. I've not raced them very much really, but we've done some of the Academy challenges in some of the bigger heavy cars. Yeah, it's fun. It's the same. It's like the coaches say. It's the same job. You've just got to you're driving the limit, whatever. So yeah, work out where the limit is in that car, and try and keep it on it the whole time. So that sounds good. Look forward to it. I didn't know that was coming now, I guess, but yeah.
Surprise! Great. Well, certainly.
So, yeah.
Carl Diaz-Castro, certainly last time we indeed met each other on track, there was a controversial incident involving me potentially moving under braking, to which no one has declared me guilty yet, so I'm going to claim complete innocence. But who would be the person you'd be most nervous of racing on track in that occasion? And I'll give you a clue. I might make an appearance. Myself and Reese may make an appearance.
No,
To be honest,
That's Kyle, bud. That's Kyle. Ian, we love you, but sit down.
I'm listening now. Come on.
to be honest, myself.
Oh wow!
Like, because I'm gonna be spinning myself out, going off track, crashing into people.
Right answer was Zippy.
Yeah, I can crash into you for you.
If anything's, to be honest, Zippy might have to be afraid of me, because the next thing he's gonna know is my front end meeting his rear end. If you know what I mean.
There we go. Zippy's having too much fun with the soundboard now.
Yeah, sorry, Ian, we could just see you take an exit stage left there. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there. But Reese, you should probably get us back on track at this point. I've had my shenanigans. I've talked about the upcoming event. Indeed, we're not quite sure on the race format yet. We're going to work that out. And by we, I mean Reese Gardner is going to save me and work out the best way so we can do it. Because it'd be good to get us both out there racing. Indeed, we're hoping to have like a one in the booth, one in the race, one in the booth kind of deal, and see how that works out as well. We're going to get John Wright to come in. Maybe we'll get John Wright in the race as well. I don't know how well he can drive. What could possibly happen putting a Scotsman in a NASCAR around VIR? That sounds like quite the adventure. But Reese, any closing thoughts from yourself?
My closing thought is this was fantastic, and we've got 7 days left until we can go racing again. I mean, these F1600s have been absolutely fantastic from the very start of the season. They've just brought incredible action every single time. You know exactly what you're getting with this league, and we love it here at Pit Road Productions. We want to thank everybody for tuning in across the world, and I should also give a shout out to Zippy himself, who says that he does have an announcement to make considering the upcoming event at Grand Prix Trois-Rivières.
Well, certainly you're all familiar with me commentating on the VIR Motorsports Radical Cup Canada. Well, ironically, we've been having Formula 1600s for this season of the Almeida Academy. Well, I'm going to be commentating the real thing at Grand Prix Trois-Rivières, so keep an eye out for that as well on YouTube. I don't know what channel it's going to be on yet, probably on theirs. Sorry, Connor, I'm just going to name drop that one a little bit there. But certainly any Academy drivers who want to see some real-life Formula 1600 action here in Canada, by all means, check that out. If not, you can just be seeing me on the VIR Motorsports channel as well. Actually, Connor, I do believe you did run in that series at one point, did you not?
Not the 1600s, no.
No, but the Radicals you did. I felt sure you drove a Radical.
The Radicals, yes, I did.
Attaboy, he gets it, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, Connor Bell is going to be at Grand Prix Trois-Rivières as well. And I will forgive you, Connor, as I made my way to Ottawa and we still did not get broad race breakfast together. But indeed, I woofed mine. No man, woman, child, or indeed apocalypse will ever stop me from getting my broad race breakfast. But ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching here on Pit Road Productions and indeed on the Almeida Racing Academy channel. By all means, please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join the Academy as well. Start getting into the Academy, get ready for next season, and indeed, get ready to get some of that merch as well. It is off pre-order. The website needs to be updated, but it is off pre-order. And certainly, if you want to get on the driver camps with the Academy merch, I'm going to make sure we feature you even more. But ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the production booth today, the one and only Mr. Reese, the Southpaw Racer Gardner, and a huge thank you to all the people over at the Academy coach Connor Bell, Chief Operating Officer Ms. Carl Diaz-Castro, and indeed to all of the Academy members as well. We're looking forward to seeing you next week, and by all means, have fun, keep training, and we'll see you next time.
Now he's here teaching all his secrets to all these drivers. This is Almeida Racing Academy,
where every champion has a starting line.
The sim racer turned real world superstar, Suelio Almeida.
It's Connor Bell racing in his own backyard for the very first time in the NASCAR Canada Series.
The workshops helped out so much. Something about battling with somebody faster than you, it just pushes you that little bit further, and I was able to just keep developing my skill.
I can kind of commit more with the exit there. That was good. If you do take sim racing seriously, it does impact your racing technique for the rest of your life.
I know how the car is going to perform around these corners because the model I have in the sim. Just the benefit of sim racing when you go into real life, I don't think people quite realize it yet.
You have infinite track time is the biggest factor. You are able to try so many things, and the physics that are simulated in the sim nowadays, especially iRacing, are so close to real life.
Australia Almeida is a master at his craft. He's outclassed a Le Mans driver, a European Le Mans Series racer.
These guys are among the top 0.02% in the world.
Designed to create champions.
First NASCAR Canada start. First NASCAR victory for Connor Bell.
Connor Bell standing on the podium here today.
This is the Almeida Racing Academy 3.0.
Wait a race, buddy, wait a race.